Hi, I'm Rebecca Obunu, and I manage the social innovation programming at the PKG Public Service Center. And today I will walk you through the proposal writing process for the Ideas Social Innovation Challenge. And we will offer you some tips and hopefully some clarity on the entire process, what to expect so that you are successful. Ideas supports MIT social entrepreneurs and innovators, and we have a mandate to prepare this class of students. And so we prepare students to work with impacted stakeholders, not for them. And we also prepare students to engage ethically in social entrepreneurship and innovation projects. It's been 20 years since this program has been running. Before I took the helm of the program about a year and a half ago, it has been known as a student competition, formerly named Ideas Global Challenge. We have renamed it to Ideas Social Innovation Challenge and really moved this program from being a competition to more of a program that has a lot of wraparound services for students that include mentorship, that include more academic or pracademic content, that includes funding, as well as mentorship, connections, etc. We really do work to serve students at all levels of their experience and just accompany them through the process of being a student social innovator and entrepreneur. So there are around 10 sectors that we've seen students uh, express their interests. We do not dictate what sectors that students uh, are to propose or submit proposals. Rather, we let you as a student tell us what you're interested in. Over the past 20 years, here's the breakdown of where our funding has been allocated. And we have funded over $1.2 million across about 190 teams. And we'll show you a little bit more. So 191 teams, to be exact, have received funding from Ideas, and to date, about 50% of them are still active. So we understand that for most students and teams, the money is the carrot. But for us, really, that's just the carrot, and the process for us is the purpose. So we have set up a process that we hope will benefit you as you're developing not only your proposals and your interventions, but uh, also hopefully a great personal development journey as well. So how does one enter this challenge? So you as a student, as an MIT student that is a full-time regular enrolled MIT student, you may recruit a team of, uh, of, of folks from anywhere in the world, whether they're at MIT or maybe they're a community partner or maybe a student from another institution. We've seen it all. And so long as the uh, the the place that you're working with is approved by MIT's risk and travel policy, you are welcome to propose a a solution in that area. So we have what we consider a 10-step process, but uh, some some parts of our process are more challenging or require more than others. So I'll tell you a little bit about each each step of our process right now. So the first one is explore. In the explore step, typically you might come to an office hour with one of our team members. You might come to one of our open house events. You might join one of our connector events or one of our workshops. In ideation, you may find that some of the events that you are able to explore in, you might also be able to ideate. For example, in our virtual generator, you can potentially find teammates and start kicking ideas around with them. Then there's a third step of registering, and for us, registration looks like, well, are you consistently um, uh, indicating your interest for our events, and have you indicated your intent to submit a proposal on our platform by registering your team? Then there's the step to prepare, and today we're going to talk about the preparation and the application piece, and we've highlighted that. Then after you submit your proposal, and our deadline is January 24th, 2021 this cycle. So that is that will be only one round this year, which is different from other years. And after that, you actually get a chance to improve because you'll receive feedback from our volunteer reviewers on your proposal. And typically, you'll get 3 to 5 different perspectives on your proposal to help you think through and possibly improve the quality of your idea. And then you will actually have time to review your reviewers' feedback with us in a interview process. And that will be in February of 2021 this year. Finally, after that process, we will select our finalists, and our finalists will have a chance to resubmit based on the proposal feedback that they received. And also, our finalists will have the opportunity to participate in a 6-week seminar series that is already pre-scheduled. The dates are up on our website from March through April, and the finalist experience culminates to an award ceremony as well as a virtual showcase that is via a partnership with the MIT Solve via their platform. And then finally, finalists have through the summer to implement, as they will all receive a seed grant of $1,000. And those who receive larger jury grants that are nominated by our volunteer jury of judges, they will have up to 16 months, and that means through the summer of 2022 to implement. So here's a sense of the funding pool that we have this year. We have $80,000. We will select 20 finalists, and we will award grants in the following denominations. As I mentioned earlier, there will be $1,000 for each finalist team awarded to them, plus through the collaboration with the MIT Solve group and our ability to use their platform, we will enable you to engage with a community all over the world. So there's an opportunity for a finalist team to secure an extra $2,500 for getting favorited by people from all over the world. Last year, over 3,000 unique individuals commented, engaged with our students across this platform, and the teams benefited from a number of different interactions, additional feedback, and as well new connections. And finally, the larger award amounts, these are decided in part and largely by the volunteer jury judge. So to give you a sense of how it looked last year, and as I mentioned, last year we had uh, more than one round. We had two application rounds, but we had 40 proposal reviewers, 20 judges. We had 10 summer mentors. We also had 12 events and workshops across the 10 steps, as I'd mentioned to you earlier, and also a couple of MIT department collaborations. We saw 72 proposals, and on average, annually, we do see about 72 proposals. And teams came from all over. And MIT students, there were about 136 MIT students, but almost 300 individuals participating in total across all of the 72 teams. So to give you a bit of a picture of our cohort, our finalist cohort last year, across the 20 teams, 45 of them were MIT students across all 4 schools, 11 different disciplines. All 10 sectors were represented. We also had really high gender parity and all across the world that these teams had projects. One thing I'll say too is that the projects and the proposals really were agnostic as to whether it's a 501c3 or whether it's a business or whether it's a research project, or it could potentially be a class project and it stays that. We are really agnostic to that. I'll tell you what we care about in a little bit uh, just down the line. So this is a sense of what, giving you a sense of what students thought about their experience last year. All right, so you'll get a sense to see that really students found this to be a meaningful process. They put a lot in it, but they also got a lot out of it as well. And it's really our true intention to make this as meaningful of a co-curricular experience for you as possible. So I'd be remiss if I didn't have you get a sense of what the community, what it really looks like, what it takes to really make our sausage, so to speak. So in the communities, we've got grant recipients from the year before that are still in the implementation phase that we continue to work with. And when I say we, that is the IDEA staff and the body of amazing volunteers who are always willing to generously share advice and connections and whatnot. Then we're also working with applicants, which may be you this year. So that's also another community. Then we also have the alumni. This year marks our 20th anniversary, and we're reconnecting with a lot of folks across the years. And we look forward to you connecting with them as well this year, especially as we're re-engaging. Then we also have the volunteers that I mentioned. We have our supporters who include our reviewers and judges, mentors. And I want to talk about those 3 groups because we select that community of folks that look at your proposals, that provide feedback with care. We really try to get a mix of the right disciplines, the right backgrounds, and people who understand the approach. And I will share more again about our criteria. We also have donors and our community partners. We couldn't do it without the donors and also the community partners who work together with you to effectuate change and impact, we think about them all the time. We think about them as much as we think about your experience as well. So I had mentioned that the ideas staff is really integral to making this happen. And here is the rest of the team that I have the pleasure and privilege of working with to make this special learning experience happen for you. So please note our email address at the bottom. If you email this email, we all get it, and we'll be responsive to any questions that you have. And always check out our website. Our webpage is chock full of information that you'll need and to walk through and enter the challenge. Any additional information, such as our chat and choose, the recorded workshops, any resources that we have, we post them there, and supplemental information as well. It's all posted there. If you want to schedule office hours with us, that's also posted there. So we try to make it as easy for you to connect with us. You can also sign up for our newsletter and stay updated. And we do keep you posted on different developments often. And there's a lot going on in this side of the town. So I promised to cover criteria and definitions. So first, I want you to know how we think about social innovation. And to us, it means it's the result of intentional work of people trying to make positive change by addressing complex challenges at their roots with the impacted stakeholders. So this is one definition of social innovation. This sector is always evolving, so the definition should always be revisited, but this is a definition that works for us, and we really do use this lens as we're looking at proposals and talking about positive impact in different parts of the world and also on the environment. Now, let's talk a little bit more about our criteria. This may look familiar, but I had purposely avoided talking about our criteria, which are innovation, feasibility, and impact. So let's delve into the meanings right now. So innovation for us, really, it isn't the flashy app or gadget necessarily. It really is what is context appropriate and relevant. And so is it a process? Is it a product, a technology? It could be, as I mentioned, a profitable entity. It could be something that isn't about profit and impact. It may be something that's about pure impact purposes. And again, it's it's a it actually is we're looking for MIT student contribution. We're looking for substantive contribution from the MIT student to justify this innovation as well. And then the next criteria, impact. So does this solution address an unmet need or underserved community? And also, when we think about impact, we're thinking about the breadth of it and the depth of it. So breadth is the scale, the numbers. Depth is the quality almost, and the 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 timeline. How lasting is this impact? So we really value both. It could be sometimes that impact the impact is positive, but it's not enumerable, and that's okay too. Can we tell the difference, almost like a before and after of an extreme makeover home edition? that's still evidence. And so think about it in those terms. That's how we think about impact too. So when we think about impact as well, we consider all of the different stakeholders that may stand to benefit. And also we want to think about those who may not stand to benefit and why. Can we potentially live with that? Because there are often trade-offs in social change. And it's fair because the fact that uh, there are inequities in our society is because of the fact that some people have benefited while others have not. So part of social innovation means rectifying that. Now, feasibility. This is another really big area for us. So feasibility, actually, we look at a lot of things when we think about this criterion. So for example, do the logistics work? Does the team make sense that you've put together for the things that you say that you want to do? And does the team have the right skill set? How about different perspectives? What are the backgrounds of your team members? The more diversity you have, the usually the higher the quality of the proposal we'll see. And we've seen that time and time again. We also are thinking about budget. Does what you propose make sense with the budget that you have projected? We also think about the impacted, particularly impacted individuals, those who stand to benefit the most. Are they part of the process? The more we see them as part of the process, we think that signals a positive sign, and that signals that your project will likely be able to have um, a lot of depth and breadth as well. So remember, we're also thinking about this in a period of about 16 months of implementation. So when you're proposing this project, think about that 16-month time window. You also might want to tell us if you have any funders, other funders, and maybe whether the funding within the 16 months might fill a gap, or just to what extent our funding will be used. We consider that as well. So we like to share this tool called the Impact Gaps Canvas. One of the things we encourage all of our student teams to, to think about is really what is the system of the challenge? And so what is the system that actually enables the problem that you're addressing, or I might even say the opportunity that you're addressing to exist? And so we will ask you questions throughout the process. The process is designed to really help you think about the system of the problem. What is the system in place that enables the challenge or opportunity to exist? And what are the various stakeholders or solutions that are part of that? So, what exists now? What gaps are there now? And based on those gaps and based on who exists, who could be your potential collaborators? And in the past, and in or in if you are thinking the purely business terms, you may think of who are your competitors. While it's not a while it's not a bad thing to think about, we encourage you to think more about your collaborators. And in social innovation, collaboration really is the most important word over competition for us. We also ask you to think about your personal values, your goals and aspirations. We also ask you to be honest with yourself about the time frame that you're willing to devote to a social innovation project. and to also evaluate your skill set and then make an important decision from there, make the right decision for the challenge at hand from there. Now let's talk about the ideas application process. Now, if you have not already visited our website, bit.ly/MIT PKG ideas, I encourage you to do so. There you'll find that we've posted everything you need to be successful in this process. One thing that I'd like to point you to particularly is our proposal, our program guidelines. And our program guideline has everything you'll hopefully every question you'll ever have answered. We walk you through all of those steps that I showed you earlier in the previous slides, along with various actions that you can take per each of the 10 steps and the different resources. You'll also find that we have our eligibility criteria there. We have also important things that you'll need to know listed on the program guidelines. Also included is you'll find a proposal application template. You're welcome to use that. You're also welcome to use your own format. Now, we do ask that you keep a limit to the file size and length because we will be reviewing quite a number of submissions. On average, annually, we see 70 plus proposals. So consider that when you're putting it together. Being concise is gold in this case. We do also list for concept papers or proposals. We ask that you do not exceed 4 pages. The template, the proposal writing template, is there to offer you a way and a structure to do that. But because we know that we're allowing you to pitch and to propose any format or any sector that interests you, we do also understand that sometimes the rigid templates are not conducive for you to convey the idea. So that's why we leave it open. You're welcome to use our template, but you're also welcome to submit something that makes more sense for what you're trying to tell us that you are looking support to accomplish. So now let's visit the actual portal. The portal link is also posted on our website, bit.ly/MIT PKG ideas. So here you'll note that the main PKG proposal submission site is SM Apply. You'll want to hit register if this is your very first time visiting this page. If you have already visited this page because you have applied to a previous program at the PKG Center, just hit login. So I'll hit register to walk you through the process. So as you can see, I clearly have registered before, but I'm going to try using my personal account. So I'm using Google. So this skipped the process of me entering my name, etc., but you would enter your name and whatnot if you chose to use Google, but you could always choose a different format. So you'll notice that as a new registrant that you'll see this landing page here, no applications. So click on view programs, and this will take you to the ideas, well, the full PKG roster of programs, and then you scroll down to go to MIT Ideas Social Innovation Challenge. Hit more. and you'll get to the landing page of our platform for the ideas challenge, then hit apply. So you'll notice that there are 3 tasks that you are required to complete. And there are instructions for the tasks. So once you hit that, note that it says complete each task sequentially. Make sure you mark each task as complete, and don't forget to click submit. Once you click submit, you should receive a confirmation email from us. If you haven't received it, be sure to check your spam box. And if you check your spam box and it is not there, be sure to send us an email, and we'll make sure we check things on the back end and confirm whether we've received your submission or not. So let's start with task 1. The first task is completing our terms and eligibility. We want to make sure that it's very clear what is expected. So we have an IP section, so ensure that you read that thoroughly. We do our best to ensure that we have anybody that is looking at your proposal who is not on IDEA's staff, who is among our volunteer community, sign a non-disclosure agreement. But at the same time, we ask you to just be careful. If there's something that is highly confidential, be careful what and how you share. But again, do note that we do have anyone working with us sign an NDA. Again, you want to make sure that you are a full-time regular enrolled student who is the MIT lead. You are only allowed to submit 1 proposal per academic year. So you want to confirm that. Then you'll also want to make sure you review our institute's travel and risk policy. While you may propose a project that is anywhere in the world, right now, given the pandemic, the Institute is limiting travel. So make sure you're also considering proposals that have a remote work option as well. And remember, there is a 16-month window here. So in some case, it may be that you have a hybrid of both remote work, and at some point you need to be on the ground somewhere in the world. And we anticipate that within the 16-month time frame, our world will have reached some sort of normalcy, that you can also include that in your proposal. And finally, the last section is reminding you that there are requirements of the finalists, and we want to ensure that you understand them clearly and have budgeted time for them. If you have a team, the great thing is you can spread the requirements amongst the team. Ensure you click yes for all of these and mark as complete. Remember, if you do not complete each task and mark it as complete, you will not be able to move on to the next section. So once you have completed your terms and eligibility, you can scroll and just review that information. Then next is your team information. You'll want to write your information first. You'll note that I have listed graduation year as 2021. So long as you're a full-time enrolled student while you apply, it is completely okay that you are graduating in May. That will not interrupt your participation in the program. If you have a team email, you may include it, but it is certainly not required. Now, the project pitch is required. Remember, this is a very short summary. I ask you to select a primary sector. And there you'll select only one. If there are other sectors that you feel are appropriate for your submission, go ahead and click all that apply. You'll want to tell us where you're located, and you'll want to tell us the number of team members you have. In this case, I'm going to enter 3. That is including myself as team lead and another 2 team members. So I'm going to pretend to complete information for 1 MIT team member and then 1 non-MIT team member, so you can get a sense of what information would be expected. So here you'll see that for the MIT team member, I completed all of this information, all of the fields. And then for the non-MIT team member, I completed just enough information about graduate, about, well, the person's name, email, and then I selected other. In your proposal, we hope to learn more about your non-MIT, well, all of your teams. So give us more information in detail there. This here is just for us to know exactly who's on the team, and so that we have their contact information. The other thing is you'll note that we include here up to 7 total team members. And sometimes you may have more. So if you have more, just email us and let us know and complete as much as you can. You'll also notice a section for community partner. While this is not required, again, as I mentioned earlier, it is important that the impacted are involved. So we want to see that their agency and voice is part of this process. So are they team members? It could be that it's a community leader. It could be that you are among the impacted and you want to do something in your community, which we applaud. And it could be as well that there's an organization that you're working with. So let us know their involvement. If they are a community partner who's supporting but not really playing an intimate role as a team member would, this would be the place where you list them. And then finally, we want to know how you learn about us. We want to make sure that we're doing our part to get the word out and check as many as apply here. Then click next. On this next screen, you want to ensure that if you have completed this task, that you mark it as complete. Remember, if you do not mark it as complete, we will not be able to then get your proposal. Once you mark it as complete, you'll be able to move on to the final step. So click here and upload your initial proposal, and then you just simply attach a file. Now, your file must be in PDF format. So I'm selecting a random PDF for the purposes of this demo. Once it's uploaded, you can click and just make sure that the file is properly uploaded. Here we go. It's there. You can click out of that. Then ensure that you mark this task as complete as well. So now that all 3 tasks are marked as complete, you can now submit. So there you go. Voila, submit, and you are done. So this will be your confirmation page. You can always log back in and go to your applications just to check on it. You will see that we sent you a confirmation with a timeline of what happens next. You will be paired to an anonymous body of volunteer reviewers where they will read your proposal and they will provide you feedback, ask you questions, etc. And we will ensure that we also add their comments to your application or your proposal file. And we will notify you once that is done. And that's normally within a 2 to 3 week time frame after the proposal submission deadline. And again, you can always come back and revisit. Let's check team information, for example. So you can always come back and see is what you submitted. So that is the end of the walkthrough of the application portal. But now let's go back to some stories of teams, and let's share some examples of what teams have done. So here's a really excellent example. And the ACOA project is a team that we saw in 2017. So they make affordable ambulances and offer EMT trainings in Tanzania and have expanded into other African countries. So you'll get a sense of what the team makeup looked like here. It was actually 5 undergraduates that came out of a D-Lab class and had a nice distribution of majors: mechanical engineering, business, and math. You'll see that they took time to understand the system. In the resource that we mentioned, the Impact Gaps Canvas, we really do encourage you to understand the system and look at where the gaps are. So they did that. And in the health system in low resource settings, there are often 3 delays to healthcare access. So they examined all 3 and focused on one: reaching healthcare access. And that's where the ACOA project, their ambulance units, was born. So here's an example of the actual product and some of the pictures from the process of pulling this together in dorm rooms, then actually eventually moving the process to countries so that local producers can make it. And so not only have they strengthened the local health system in Tanzania and in different countries in Africa, but also they've helped provide economic opportunity for both local handcraft and handsy men and women, and also local drivers. Here's another story. This is Audace, and Audace was an undergraduate in the computer science program who recruited a team of students from Princeton University, and also from the University of Rwanda. Audace returned home to his home country, Rwanda, and launched a company called Insightive. And Insightive is an AI-enabled platform that allows him to, and allows actually radiologists to remotely capture images and then also analyze those images to optimize diagnosis. And so he found that there was an extreme and dire dearth of radiologists in his home country, and that was his solution to it. And he has gone on to, within a short period of time, to work with a number of well-regarded institutions such as Harvard Medical School, and the example that I shared previously, the ACOA project, they are now working with the Autodesk Foundation. And the Autodesk Foundation is one of our many pipeline partners. So Ideas is connected with a number of great organizations, both within the Institute and outside of the Institute, so that you can continue getting support as you're evolving. So now we've done the walkthrough. We are here for you if you need us. If there's ever anything that you need and any questions that you need answered, do not hesitate to reach out to us. And remember, you can email us at mitpkgideas@mit.edu. And if you go to bit.ly MIT Ideas, you can always sign up for office hours there. You can sign up for our newsletters. You can access all of the resources that I have shown you throughout this, this video. And we are honestly just thrilled that we get to do this job and that we get to work and support you as student social innovators and entrepreneurs. So we really are here for you and we're committed to your success. We are your cheerleaders, we are your champions, we are your supporters. Thank you so much.